Mike Stabile, professor, consultant, and co-founder of Creating We Education, and also the founding principal of Nagel Middle School, Cincinnati, Ohio. Nagel is a true story of a committed group of people who are united together with a common purpose and a common vision for the common good. The story and journey of Nagel is inspirational not just because of its successes, but also because of the heart and vision to make student learning the center of all we do in school. We're at a crossroads. A paradigm shift is taking hold in education. In its briefest form, the paradigm that has governed our schools is this: a school is an institution that exists to provide instruction, to transmit knowledge. Subtly but profoundly, we're shifting to a new paradigm. A school is an institution that exists to produce learning. This shift changes everything. It's both needed and wanted. Leading educators agree that in order to lead satisfying and successful lives in today's rapidly changing global economy, today's students will need to develop 21st century competencies like creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking, while exploring and cultivating their own emerging aspirations, passions, and aptitudes as they evolve and grow. We-centric schools and classrooms create the conditions necessary for success in today's world by promoting, first, co-creative environments in which students, faculty, staff, and parents are actively engaged in the common pursuit of a shared vision of ensuring that all students learn. Secondly, caring relationships that cultivate and celebrate individual talents and aspirations, respect differences and diversity, and support challenges through creating collaborative cultures. And third, conversational intelligence, listening for understanding, communication that's marked by caring, candor, and open curiosity that expand possibilities and promote breakthroughs that fuel continual improvement. This is a critical time in our world. We're searching for new ways to engage, lead, and make critical decisions together in education. In the late 1990s, a community invested time, finances, and diligent effort to embark on a venture to change the way we educate young adolescents. Those foundations continue today, almost 15 years later.
First conversations with Mike was about the building and the name of it. It was called Nagel Middle School. And he said if we didn't put in advisory and encore and flex scheduling and teaming, if all those pieces weren't in there, then he was going to get on a ladder and pluck those letters right off the school. And knowing his personality, he would have done that. And so, that was a strong belief system, strong vision for this is how this is going to be. We're going to put it all in there, or we're not going to call ourselves a middle school. And so just down to our space, like we came in and we were like, where's our desk? And he's like, you don't have a desk. It's this thing right here. And it was a cart. It was flexible. It was movable around the room. Like you weren't going to sit in a fort in this classroom in this school that he led. We weren't to really decorate our rooms and turn them into like American flags everywhere or grammar words on the wall. It was meant to be everybody's room. And now that is so normal. You walk down the halls and you're looking for team 7-3 and 7-4's the teacher standing in the room. Like we have broken down all those barriers, whereas before it was like we couldn't believe he was telling us this. And I remember even being snotty, like, oh, I'm going to wear like a Home Depot belt around my waist and carry all my markers and my pencils and my staplers, and it was just such a different shift. But it came because he purposefully said, this is how we're going to behave, this is how we're going to function, and everybody learned how to do that, and we learned that it was better. It just was kind of a shock to our system.
That many times when there's a change, and it gets to be from the very beginning, where you have a strong leader with a strong vision, you get to build a building that fits with it. You know, it's amazing, and I think that's a real part of why it works.
You have to jump every day with both feet on the ground and continue running. And I think we do things that districts might have taken years. We do them in a month, and they're operating, you know, within a month, and they're operating. I think that all along, I think there's been intentional professional development to install in people to, you know, make them come out of their comfort zone, to be leaders among groups, and to build leadership within our school. I know, Natasha, you know, instituted the lab, the leaders and believers and achievers and all that. And I think if anybody in this school feels that they have never been given a chance, you know, they just need to open their eyes, because there is so much potential in this building to not only be a teacher in a classroom working with kids, but to be you know, a teacher among teachers, to be a coach, to be a mentor.
I was just talking about how I've noticed a change in a lot of our staff, and how I believe that a lot of that started with the vision of the leadership. So I came in, I think, at the third year that Nagel existed, and my impression and my feeling here and kind of the culture has always been that we are forward-thinking and we are innovative. We talk all the time because we're just now implementing some of the things that that were original ideas and thoughts in 1998, and now we're seeing those things being implemented in other buildings in the district as well. So it's really neat, and so we're always making that comment. Yes, you know, that was the original vision of the leader in 1998.
Memories that I have of Nagel is the first meetings you got us together and you showed us those integrated circles. Those independent circles, and then over time how they would integrate with each other. All of the different core subjects would eventually work more and more together, and in the middle was this growing area where we would all share. We would all share in that advisory part, where we would share reading, we would share writing. And it's pretty amazing to have seen that from its inception to now. It's there.
At the end of the day, I don't think you can look at leadership as a hierarchy. I think leadership has to be, you know, something that you're willing to share, and that you feel you're called on to share to make sure that the overall project goes well. Sitting back and being inactive or withholding your opinions on things, I don't think necessarily provides any help from a leadership perspective.
Buddy, I've never seen a group of caring people work so hard for a group of kids as this school has always done. And when people on the outside say, wow, that's a hard school to work at, but you know what? It's so rewarding that you can't not. I mean, I could never imagine going anywhere else.
To me, the heart is the beginning concept that I learned from the beginning leadership here, is that every child would be known well by one adult. And whether that's the custodian that you have befriended at lunch, or the nurse, or your teacher, your advisor, the principal, I do believe that that concept still really rings true for probably 95% of our student population.
My opinion, in 7th and 8th grade, kids need to sort of stretch their wings, if you will, and see what interests them, to see what they like to do. I'll use my kids as an example. When they came into 7th grade, they thought they were interested in one thing, and by the time they left and made it to the high school, their interests had changed. And I think that's what our role is, to show kids what's out there, what they might be interested in, and when they do find something they are interested in, to help perpetuate that interest in that different activity.
I feel like we have a great system where through collaboration we can find rich learning experiences for kids, and so that the math that they're learning at that point, or the science that they're learning at that point, becomes more than just the content. And it is only through collaboration and through the time together as interdisciplinary teams that we can see, oh, you're talking about that in science? Well, I've got this great piece in language arts that we can read that will support that. And it really comes to life for students. Now, people are not only learning from other teachers, and teaching has become more of a collaborative process, but teachers are also more willing to open up to their students and learn from their students.
I see a distinct collaboration not only between coaches or advisors of the various activities, but I see the collaboration between teachers in the classroom and those coaches and advisors, because we constantly emphasize the academic piece and what are you doing in the classroom, and you have to achieve in the classroom first to have the privilege to participate in those after-school activities. So we see a great interaction between what we do after school and what takes place during the school day.
We were allowed to take that practical idea of that art is in math and art is in social studies and science, and like the kids got to see it and they really got to live it, and that was.
Well, I was in your room, you were in my room. In fact, Jody saw some paintbrushes up in my room just the other day and said, should I take these down to Sarah? Are they hers? And I said, oh, Sarah gave me those a long time ago and I'm going to pass them on to somebody else. I think there was just no feeling of this was my room, this was your room, this was Rich's room, this was everybody's room. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we were just, you know, synonymous with each other. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think that was such a great way to be able to be a teacher and to grow in the skills of being a teacher.
I always found it interesting that through the teaming, through what we were doing as a group of adults, not only did we find that we were creating learning for students, but we learned ourselves. And it really was truly a model of lifelong learning for students. And we had great relationships with each other, even if initially it wasn't so easy. You worked towards it. You had an end goal that you wanted to provide the best learning environment for students, so you made it happen. Even in times of disagreement, students saw us disagree, and that was great. Very first year at Nagel, the team that I was on, was an interesting collection of people because we had people that were coming to the middle school because they wanted to come to the middle school. And then we have some that were told you are going to the middle school. And one of those was a veteran teacher, had some years of experience, and not that there was an outright fight of not wanting to do it, but just a lot of anxiety and hesitation. And little by little, it was through those relationships and through that support that that person felt that they were able to see, wow, this is really great for us and for kids. And by the end of that person's career, I think they probably would be honest about saying that the years here in this environment with the teaming and the collaboration was their best in education.
Being able to work in a team, you built relationships, and the kids were able to then see relationships between colleagues, and they can get that good modeling piece.
What I love most about Nagel is nothing ever stays the same. It is not lather, rinse, and repeat. And I love that we do not just hold on to even a concept such as National Junior Honor Society. That was not meant for our school. We did not need to hold on to that. It wasn't the middle school concept. We do not have the same activities or same events every single year over and over just because we did it. We always look for something new and exciting. We try to model what the kids want to see. We try to give them opportunities that are of their interest right now, not just because that's how we did it in 2005.
One of the norms that we've used a lot, especially over the past years, is that the goal is not to agree. The goal is to gain a deeper understanding. And so that deeper understanding of what does it mean to be a learner, what does it mean to help students achieve their goals. And I think if you stay focused on why we're here, which is for the learning of kids, then that conflict is easier to work through.
We hope you enjoyed this transformational We story about Nagel Middle School. The Creating We Education Institute looks forward to presenting other inspirational, transformational stories. Thank you for watching.